having us, mate. Yeah, just like you said, mate, it's busy. Obviously, I've got my own gym and that, so I'm just running my own gym. And then I'm getting a few matches on top of that as well. I've got a few seminars and that, so...
You got training this morning?
This morning, I just ran a class this morning, mate, because I've trained all week, and Sunday I had a seminar at ASW Liverpool, and I ended up doing a lot of rounds with them lads as well, so...
Yeah.
I just taught this morning, mate.
Yeah, how was the seminar? Was it good?
Yeah, mate, it's I like ASW, mate. It don't matter which gym it is from there. It's they're all a very similar style to what I do myself, and
yeah,
good bunch of lads, mate.
Definitely. And you was up the northwest the weekend before that as well, obviously for Grapple Fest as well, wasn't you?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, so I was up for Grapple Fest on the 21st, I think it was, on May.
Yeah.
I'm back next weekend as well because I'm doing like a catch wrestling tournament on.
Oh, of course, at the Snake Pit. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you managed to read up on the rules? I heard Sorry, mate. Your sound's gone off. Hello.
Wait there, mate. One sec, mate. Can you hear me again, mate?
Yeah, mate, that's sound that. Yeah, cheers.
Sorry about that, mate.
No, it's all right. So yeah, it's at the Snake Pit, isn't it? Snake Pit World Championships, catch wrestling.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I don't even know the rules, mate. Yet to be fair, rules. But it's I think I'm just gonna try and set people down and pin them. I think if 2 shoulders at the floor, it's a pin.
Yeah.
So
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, that was what the good thing was against when you fought Michael Pixley at Grapple Fest. That was that gentleman's agreement that no one's going to pull guard. You're both just going to try and take each other down. And yeah, it was somewhat that.
I think like the way it was, that match was like promoted and that they just wanted a wrestling match, didn't they? So
yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
I watched it. We've been to the last few Grapple Fests, and some of the lads from the gym, they were there in the booth. I think they were next to some of your lads, I think, in that middle booth.
Right.
But I watched it at home. It's the first time I've watched it with commentary on Fight TV. And when your match came on, even through the telly, like the atmosphere in the nightclub, in that Fusion nightclub, just like picked up. It was unbelievable.
It was mad, mate.
Yeah.
It was fucking like, I've genuinely never fought in an atmosphere like that. It went mental.
Yeah.
Like that was the 3rd Grapple Fest I've done, and it's never been like that. It's just fucking mad, man. I don't know what it is.
Is that like the difference between that and like Polaris? Because Polaris is always like in an arena type thing, innit?
Yeah, they're very like different events. I find it's like I don't really know which one I prefer either, because Polaris is just like a huge show. Like you get really, really well looked after. Like you stay over in a nice hotel night before.
Yeah.
The venue's always massive and like fucking real good venue. Like all your walkouts and everything's like you're in there like almost, well, you're doing like rehearsals before it starts and everything. It's just mad. It's a mad thing, Polaris.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I kind of like the way Grapple Fest just like you're meeting in a nightclub and
it's typical like Northwest Liverpool thing.
Yeah, it's quality. For atmosphere, Grapple Fest definitely wins all day.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was at one point, obviously, there was a lot of Pedigo submission guys who came up for this one, but the last one was promoted as Daisy Fresh versus Europe, wasn't it? And when you see like some of the pictures and all their corner, Keith Pedigo and all the superstars in their team, right next to the mat, next to normal folk, just having a beer and that, it is a crazy atmosphere.
It's class, mate. Yeah. It's what it's about, I think. I think it epitomizes what it should be about, really. It's just no ego, good atmosphere, and everyone just getting stuck in and everyone enjoying it. I think you can go to an event like that, whether you even know the rules of grappling or not, and
just enjoy the atmosphere and a good time, definitely. is there any word on, because I think the next Grapple Fest is going to be October, I believe. I think Chris Thompson was saying that on the commentary. Have they started trying to match people up for that yet, or is it too early days yet?
No, not yet, no. Like, Chris has told me to keep it free, so I'm presuming I'm going to be on it.
Yeah.
He's not told me who, but he said it should be a really big match this time.
Yeah. I've just watched back your match against, what was his name? Geyer. I can't remember his first name, for the ADCC trials. And he's competed on Grapple Fest before, hasn't
he? Yeah, mate. Seriously, that was like as tough as the Picton match, that.
Yeah.
If not tougher, it was absolutely solid. Like,
yeah,
he's genuinely a very, very legit wrestler. And a legit grappler as well. Like,
yeah.
And he's only young, like, he will do really well.
How old is he?
I think he's only about something mad, like 22, 23.
Joking, Jesus Christ.
Young, mate, and he's a big lad. He's in good shape. Like, I was fighting 99 though, which shouldn't. It's not my weight. That, like, if I was gonna be serious, then it's got to be 88. I'm only like 92 walking around.
Yeah.
But
what was the reasoning for that then? You just thought, I'm just gonna go and do it and we walk around where, like, just...
Yeah, I'm just like, mate, I'm just like really busy, and like, I don't know, I keep saying it to people and they find it weird, but like, I'm not like prioritizing competitive grappling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my gym's full on my priority. I just want to build a really strong gym and a really strong team, which we're doing a good job of at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I've developed a decent team and I'm training, I train every morning, every night with them. I'm just one of them people where I'm like, if I'm training, I might as well just throw myself out there.
Yeah.
And it's just been going well. Like, it could have easily not gone well and I'd have been still doing the same thing, but I just seem to keep getting some decent results. And getting to ADCC, obviously, I only had a lad 7 months ago as well. So it was like, as well as running gym and training and like in between me training sessions that I'm coaching and teaching, I've got a lad at home. Like, it's not like I can just come home and sleep through the day.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Full-time athlete, so I've got my lads to look after.
Yeah.
So just like all of this that's going on, and then for me to start cutting a bit of weight now, I was like, because I've cut weight so many times and it does change your mood, it does change energy through the day.
Yeah.
Like, I can't afford to, I'm not in a position anymore where I can just come home from training and be like, right, fuck everything off, go to bed, see you later.
Yeah.
Got too much going on, so I thought I'll just go at 92, and the rules kind of suit me anyway, and I'll just see how it goes. And all right.
It was amazing that silver medal it was your first ADCC trials as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that was a mad thing as well, because I was genuinely learning the rules there on the job. I had my first match. Like, all I went out saying to myself was, if you can wrestle everyone and stay on top, you're not going to be far off come the end.
Yeah.
So the first match, I just went out and I had that absolutely fucking mental match with Gaia. That was my first round.
Yeah, Jesus.
And then I came off that, and then I remember I had a massive Norwegian lad in the second round. He was about 6
foot. 7 foot, wasn't he? Okay,
yeah. And I took him down, but then I remember just thinking to myself, fuck, I shouldn't have done that, because now, like, it's not points in the first half. So I was like, I've basically given him a free guard pull. So I started working the rules out as I was going.
In real time.
Yeah, it was just weird, mate. But it was a good day, like.
Yeah. What was funny, though, is some of the stick you were getting, like the silver medal you got, and all them Instagram keyboard warriors giving you shit.
Oh,
but,
mate.
Like, some of the replies was funny, though.
It's just fucking... I don't understand some people, mate, honestly. I am literally not doing anything special at all. I'm like trying to help everyone I can. If anyone can come to me and train for free, I don't really give a fuck. I'm doing seminars trying to help people. Like, I'm proper out what stuff I use, and literally don't hide anything. And there's genuinely just so many people sat there just waiting for you to lose.
I know.
What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, it's so weird.
Crazy. People, so the Northwest, I only realised like a few months ago, I think it was one of the first times we'd seen you on Grapple Fest, and the announcer obviously says like Owen Livesey from St Helens. I didn't realise you were originally from St Helens.
Yeah, like I was born in Wigan, so I was born in Billinge.
Right.
Oh, it's not there anymore, is it?
No.
But I was born Billinge Hospital, and I lived in St Helens like from day one
Right.
till I was about 15, 16. And then I left St Helens for Dartford in Kent to train full time.
Yeah.
And then after about 2 years full time, I moved back to St Helens for about a year. And then I moved to Camberley for full time judo, which is in Surrey. And I stayed there for a good amount of time. Then I was training judo full time. I was training jiu-jitsu with Carlson Gracie team at the same time. And then I ended up moving over to Hull for a job when I'd finished judo. And then I ended up opening my own gym, and then it got really full, and now that's full time.
So did you know as a 15-year-old, the dream was to like pursue Olympic judo? Was that the dream at 15?
Yeah, I was playing rugby as well up until I left home. So I'd play rugby, I'd do judo, I was doing wrestling, I was doing Brazilian JiuJitsu. I was really lucky. Like my judo club at the time, there's not many judo clubs who give what we had. Like we were doing judo Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We were doing freestyle wrestling Tuesday, Thursday, and we were doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on a Sunday. Yeah, more or less had the best of every world from like 9 years old. So did that till I was about 15.
Where was that? Where was you training then? Sorry.
SKK in Earlstown.
Earlstown.
Still there now, mate. Like they've developed some ridiculous results for a small club in Earlstown. Like they've got a lot of European world medals. They've got an Olympian in that gym. It's just, and hardly anyone knows about it, but they do everything right. They do a lot of traveling. They used to take us all the time. So I was there till about 15, and that was just like I was just enjoying it then. And then I moved away. I went to Dartford, and I've been full time at Dartford for a little bit, and it just got super serious because when I left, it was like a couple of years later was the London 2012 Olympic Games.
Right.
And when the Olympics is in a home country, so when it's in your country, you don't have to qualify. So,
all right.
Like for me to qualify for an Olympic Games now, I'd have to be within the top 18 best judo players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And judo worldwide is absolutely enormous. You've got like some of your top countries in judo, like Mongolia, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, where they hardly even do any other sports.
Right.
To be top 18 in the world for judo is a massive achievement. But when it's in your country, your place automatically gets qualified. So you only have to be the number one in Great Britain to go.
Right.
So when I moved to Dartford, obviously I was really young, but there was nobody in my weight that was taking like massive results. So they started like pushing the idea that they might take some of us for experience. So I was a young lad, and I was like, fucking hell, like I've got a sniff here of going to an Olympic Games.
Yeah.
So it got really serious, but I don't think I was actually, I wasn't ready for it to be that serious. Like I'd gone from doing a bit of judo, a bit of wrestling, a bit of jiu-jitsu, a bit of to like judo twice a day, 6 days a week, strength conditioning on the side, traveling all over the place, like, which was good for my skill development, but it was like, fuck me, don't even think about going out. So like you had zero life. And then I didn't get pushed to the games. A lad got a World Cup medal, so rightly he went. He ended up being my partner. Further down the line is Danny Williams. He won the Commonwealth Games as well, at a different weight. So he ended up going rightly so. And then I moved back home to St Helens. I was a bit like, it got a bit too much. It was really like school. Like you'd come in, you had to fill in health questionnaires every morning. Like it was like nutrition workshops. It wasn't just training. So I was like, me, moved home. I had about a year playing rugby with my mates again. And then I seen a advertisement for Commonwealth Games Glasgow 2014. So I thought I'll have a crack, and then I moved back down south. But I went to Camberley, which Camberley's like at the time was by far the best full-time centre.
Yeah.
It wasn't recognised as a performance centre, so it wasn't like school. It was like you were living with your mates, you were having a laugh, but everyone just trained like fucking. We got a lot of success, but the Olympic Games, it was like that was my big aim from the start. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you talk us through kind of what it takes mentally and physically to build up to an Olympic Games?
It's
Because I've got no like frame of reference whatsoever to relate to anyone training for the Olympics or anything like that.
It's like unbelievably hard. It's like, and I can't speak for all sports because I don't know what the sport entails in terms of qualification and everything.
Yeah.
But judo's like when people say to me now, like I have an interview after I've won a match in grappling, and I'm like, it slips out. I always slip it and say like I'm not bothered. And when I say I'm not bothered, it's not like, I don't know if it comes across wrong. It's not like I'm not bothered about winning. Obviously, like when I'm out, I'm 100% going out to win. But it's just not the pressure that I've felt from judo. It's like massively enjoyable now, whereas judo, it was just mental, mate. It was like sleepless nights over like competition and stuff. 'Cause it was just, it's like an Olympic cycle is like 2.5 years long. And an Olympic cycle consists of you like competing in tournaments from World Cups to Grand Prix to Grand Slams, European Championships, World Championships. And basically all these tournaments have a different amount of points for a gold, silver and bronze medal. So a World Cup would be your lowest level out of that bunch.
Right.
It's still a very high level medal if you get a World Cup medal, but it's just a bit lower than a Grand Prix and a bit lower than a Grand Slam in terms of points. So, for example, if you won a World Cup, you might get 80 points for gold, 60 points for silver, 40 points for bronze. If you won a Grand Slam, you might get 200 points for gold, 160 for silver, 120 for bronze. That won't be right, but it's along that line. That's how it works. So basically, every time you get a medal, your points go next to your name on the world ranking list, and you've got to be top 18 within that world ranking list to qualify for the Olympic Games.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets even harder, as in they only use your best 5 results. So say I got 10 World Cup medals, only the best 5 would count.
All right.
So it's like basically I was fighting probably every 2 weeks at some points. I'm cutting weight every time. So I used to walk around about 88, 89 and fight at 81.
Yeah.
So it'd literally be a case of cutting weight for 2 weeks, eating, having a good night that night, getting straight back on the diet the day after, fighting again 2 weeks for 2.5 years.
Jesus.
And then you might not get in at the end like I did.
And you're constantly looking at how other people are doing as well then in them rankings.
That's the thing. So like when I fell out of qualification, basically it was like I'd genuinely been in qualification all the way through, because this was for Rio 2016, this one.
Mm-hmm.
So like my best by far year of judo was 2015. I don't know what clicked, which like something just clicked. Like I'd won the Commonwealth in 2014. I don't know if that had helped with confidence or whatever, but in 2015, like I have beat Ivan Nifontov from Russia, who was an Olympic bronze medalist at the time and current world champion. I threw him for Ippon in Chile in the semi-final. I beat Attila Ungvari in the final by Ippon as well, which is like a score. So I was beating some really, really high-level people.
Yeah.
And I was in qualification absolutely all the way through. And then there was like 3 tournaments left. And basically there was a Brazilian lad that had failed a drugs test for Brazil. He wasn't allowed to fight for Brazil anymore. But somehow he was fighting for Lebanon.
Yeah.
And he was shit hot. As you probably would be if you were fucking rammed full of tests.
Yeah.
So he starts storming through underneath me, and I'm like, I can see him coming, like he's winning medals everywhere, and I'm thinking, fucking hell. Like, and it gets to the point then where you're just waiting for the end. You know what I mean? When you're in the qualification and it's tight, you're like, fuck me, I won't be bothered if these next 3 tournaments got cancelled.
Yeah.
You just want to get there. Like you've been grafting for a long time. I went to what was it? I think it was the Tunisian Grand Prix, and I went out first round, and this Lebanon lad pulled a medal. So it knocked me out of qualification for the first time. But when you come out of qualification, there's a continental quota. So the way the continental quota works is for men, there's one, and for women, there's one. And there'll be one for Europe, for each man and each woman. So the way it works is everyone that's not in qualification, the person who is outside of qualification but has the most points out of any weight will still go. Mm-hmm. So there was a lad on my team called Ben Fletcher who was fighting at under 100 kilos, who had the quota. But it worked out that there was a German lad in his weight, no, a Hungarian lad in his weight. And basically this Hungarian had to pull an outrageous result at the very last tournament of qualification, which was the Kazakhstan Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So we were sat in the crowd in Kazakhstan, and I've genuinely looked at this list, and I'm like, lads, I'm absolutely fine here. Like, I've got the quota. I've qualified. I was like, this Hungarian, his name's Sergi Nax. He's got to beat. There was like Fonseca, who's now current world champion from Portugal. He had Carl Richard Frey, who's a German lad who was like phenomenal. I think he was a world medalist at the time. Mm-hmm. He had a Kazakhstani lad who was very good, first round, and it was in Kazakhstan. So I'm looking at this draw, and I'm like, we're fucking sweet here, we're done. And he comes out, and he just fucking absolutely went through this Kazakhstan lad. And I was like, yeah, you look pretty good, though. But I was like, wasn't even worried, because I was like, there's no way he's beating all of them on the same day.
Yeah.
He went all the way through and got gold.
Jesus.
So I was just like, fucking hell. So he basically knocked me out, and that was the last tournament done.
Yeah.
So I'd literally been in it I've been in qualification for about 2.25 years. Fell out literally at the last tournament, so it was like as bad as it could get, to be fair.
Is there anything in place like at these performance centres to help with like the mental side of it and the pressure that people are under, and especially at such a young age as well? Like,
not at all, mate. It's no. Like a lot got pushed around about it recently. I don't know how much has come from it, but there was absolutely nothing. Like when I fell out of qualification there, I was like pretty fucked, to be fair. Like I moved back home. I ended up just doing some like personal training because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to train anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, I ended up getting a little box flat, which cost me 300 quid a month.
Yeah.
I'd just get through work Monday to Friday, and then I'd just be pissed every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Just horrendous 18 months. And I never heard from British Judo once. Like, which is pretty bad, really, because if I'd have stayed in qualification in that last tournament, then you'd have heard from them non-stop. They basically just want you when you're doing something that promotes them, really.
Yeah, and then I suppose once you're out, they're just looking at the next up and coming who you can get.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's it. And that's
I do a lot. Yeah, I do a lot of work in over in Leeds with veterans, so lads who have left the military and that. And one of the things that we see is a massive parallel between like lads who are leaving professional sports compared to lads who are leaving the military, or women who are leaving the military as well. There's massive parallels in kind of the loss of identity, the not knowing where they're going to go in life, the pathway they're taking. So yeah, it's massive, using the parallels between sport and the military as well. What was the turning point for you then? I know you started your own club because you just wanted somewhere to train, but what was there a turning point that got you back on the?
It was like, So I did that for 18 months, and then it got that bad that I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, it's actually really bad. Like, I ended up earning decent money at some point because I had quite a lot of clients, and mate, I wasn't even qualified. I was just fucking like just coming in. I was just like a counselor. I was just talking shit with people, doing a bit of training with them, and like I was earning money, but I was literally just spending it all in 3 days on a weekend.
Yeah.
I was feeling horrendous. I wasn't training at all. It was like, I just can't keep living like this, and I didn't know what else to do, and I've got no qualifications, so I moved back to Camberley, which was like purely out of desperation. I was like, I'll try and go for Tokyo 2020. But it was never going to happen because I completely went back for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So I went back and I ended up doing all right. I got some World Cup medals. I was back in like the Olympic circuit again. I was traveling around with the Camberley lads. But then I got about 6 months in and I was like, I don't even want to do this. And like, I was looking in front of me knowing the 2.5 years that I've got in front of me and how hard it actually is. And I was like, if your head's not in that, it's going to be a waste of 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So I quit there and then, but then I stayed down south. I just thought I can't go back home. It's like I had good mates back home, but I had mates that if I bumped into, I'd be fucking drinking again. And I was just like,
you'd be out for 3 days. Yeah.
So I stayed down south and I ended up training a little bit of MMA at London Shoot Fighters, which is a bit ridiculous. I had like $2,000 in my account off a sponsor, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just fight because I don't know what else to do." So I was going to Shoot Fighters and I was training in the morning. It was like 40 minutes from where I was living. I'd sit in a Costa for like 4 or 5 hours through the day, and then I'd train in the evening and then drive back. I did that for about 8 months, and then me $2,000 ran out. It hit zero, and I thought, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like, I never even had an income. I'd just like rid on this $2,000 that I had for 6 months, 8 months, and it ran out, and I was like, "What am I doing?" Like, and now I need to like sort myself out. So I started teaching judo in a school because literally didn't know what else I could do. So I got a job with a company called Inkai, teaching judo in schools, which was an horrendous job. It was nothing like the description I got. It was like I'd be out the house at 5:30 in the morning and I'd get back at like 10 p.m. and be like peanuts. So I knew when I was doing that, I can't do this forever. But again, I had no idea what to do. And then I was just lucky, mate. Like I did a wrestling session with Warrington Wolves about 4 years before all this. And basically, someone at Warrington Wolves knew someone at Hull KR. And then someone at Hull KR rang me up and asked me if I wanted to be a wrestling coach for Hull KR. So I was like, well, I'd fucking love to, yeah. So they were like, right, appreciate it in 2 months. Do you mind moving over? So I was like, of course not. So I moved straight to Hull, jumped in a house share in Hull. I did about 1.5 years with them. But about a year in, I opened my own place, but only for training reasons. Like when I opened my own gym, it was initially 2 nights a week because there was I tried a couple of gyms in all, and it was just not much going on. So I opened my own place, and it was literally Tuesday night was gi sparring, Thursday night was no gi sparring, and that was it. There was no technique.
Yeah,
just for my own selfish reasons. I just wanted to train. But the sessions ended up getting packed, and I was like, "Oh, would you lads be interested in doing some technique as well?" They were like, "Yeah." So I put an extra technique session on, so we trained Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They got rammed, so then I found an old community centre, which cost me £500 a month.
Yeah.
I put a session on every night there, so I was working full time with KR, and I was training and teaching every night. And then that just got fucking packed out, and then we ended up moving full time, and I ended up quitting KR because I wanted to do this instead.
Yeah.
But none of it was planned, mate. Basically, it was just
it's mad. And do the OKR style lads still come across and do sessions with you at your place where you are now?
We have all FC now, so I'm a bit of a trade. Yeah, I'm a bit of a traitor. So I go to my place once a week now.
There's a bit of rivalry between Hull FC and Hull KR, isn't there? It's fucking
Yeah, it's big, mate.
scary. That, yeah, it's like Saints and Wigan.
Yeah.
I went to so the reason why I couldn't go Grapple Fest the last time was because I went to Lakes Camp. I know you've done a Lakes Camp before, haven't you? You've hosted
Yeah.
a camp up there, and it was with Steve Gawthorpe and Ben Poppleton.
Yeah.
So we managed to look at some of the arm crushes and the turnovers and the arm lock game of Steve Gawthorpe, and he went round and demonstrated on a few people some of the stuff. And like when I was telling the lads in the gym about it, the only word I had to describe it was brutal. The whole fucking every technique he did hurt, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
so from your experience, what is the difference in like the ground game for like judo in terms of technique? Is it pressure? Is it application compared to jiu-jitsu? Why did he feel so horrible when other people?
It's just like judo groundwork's absolutely brutal because it's the transitions are much shorter, so everything will be harder. So like, say I take someone down or say someone pulls guard, there's like unlimited time on the floor, or obviously if you're in a time limit match, whatever, that contest can all be spent on the floor. So there can be like much slower approaches to your groundwork, whereas in judo it's like if we were against each other judo and you landed on the floor, if I'm not diving on something and hunting it hard, the ref just stops us and stands us up.
Right.
So like judo transitions, like a typical judo transition would be like, I have sleeve lapel on you, I chop you to the floor, you land in a turtle, and I dive in and go for a bow and arrow choke. But everything's got to be 100% because if I look 1% like I'm just trying to run the clock down, they'll just stand us back up, back on feet. So I think everything just going to be attacked with more intensity with judo. It's like with jiu-jitsu, where if I get a mount on someone in jiu-jitsu, I kind of like riding out in that position a little bit, fucking make it really uncomfortable, and a submission can come off the back of that. But if in judo, or not mount, because it'd be an hold down. But if I was in a position in judo and I was riding it out like that, they just have to stand you back up.
Yeah.
Your do's got to be with more aggression and more intent.
Yeah. You kind of summed that up. We were in a position like a kind of a quarter mount, and he was Steve Gawthorpe and Ben Poppleton were explaining like that. Generally speaking, people will be looking to maybe like seat belts and then roll and take the back. And Steve Gawthorpe was just like, why are you going around the fucking houses? The arm's there, take the arm, just rip it off. He just went straight to the arm lock. And it was, people were like tapping before he even extended their arm out.
Yeah, the thing is though as well, like with Steve though as well, it's like everything's a fucking edge, mate.
Yeah.
Literally though, it's like he could do something on you and it'll feel horrendous. And I could do the same thing on you and it won't feel that bad. Like I don't know what it is. It's like
he's like built for it.
Made for attacking arms. Like you put an arm through and his forearm feels like it's cutting through your bicep. It's like
that's what it was like. Yeah.
Without even trying. He is an horrible bloke, to be fair.
Yeah. He came across and did what's it called? Eckersley hold.
Yeah.
He came and was doing that to people, like, because a few people weren't maybe getting it correct, putting someone on the side and that, and he came over and did it to me, like, and it was just fucking horrendous. Pressure sat on my ribs, and then my arm. I just wanted to give him the arm from the pressure and that.
Yeah, but, there's a couple of things with judo that's really good crossover to jiu-jitsu, because it's like an Eckersley hold. That it's a hold down in judo.
Yeah.
Like that's how much pressure you're getting, because like in judo, if I get an Eckersley hold down on someone, if I hold them there for 20 seconds, I've won.
Right.
But you've got to think you're going to have like an international level competitor underneath you. You've got an Eckersley hold, and he's going absolutely apeshit to get out. and you can manage to control him with that. So then if you can transfer that to jiu-jitsu and have the same control,
yeah, it's a nice little.
what you're doing is trying to attack an armbar on the end. It's like it's the same with a scarf hold as well.
Yeah,
Scarf hold, like a lot of people in jiu-jitsu say, oh, don't do a scarf hold, it'll get your back tuck. But if you do that right, you're not getting your back tuck. Like that is a high level hold down in judo where it gets used at the highest levels, and
yeah,
no one's slipping out and taking you back there because it gets done. It's like if it's like anything, and if it's not done right, then it's
yeah,
counts with.
yeah. It was good watching that Gaia match back from the ADCC trials, because a lot of the stuff in there is the stuff that you're showing on your instructionals, isn't it? You went for the Kouchi ankle pick a few times. Obviously, the body locks there. The Ichimata was there as well. And it's just stuff that you're showing on your instructionals, isn't it? Done at like the elite level. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's gonna genuinely bite me in the ass soon because I do actually just show everything. I do. Like I genuinely just show what I use. Like, and nothing that I use is like it's technical, but it's not got many steps involved with anything. Like genuinely everything I do, stand up or ground, is relatively simple. Like I've done it a long time, so I know I've got a really good feel for it as well. Like there's a few times in that Gaia match when I've watched back where he has me off my feet completely, and I land on my feet and end up taking him down. And that's genuinely like I don't actually think you can practice that. That's
just because you've been there a million times, and that.
Yeah, that's just like someone's took me off my feet, so my last resort is to turn in and use my hips.
Yeah.
I think you just got to get thrown a million times to actually be able to feel that. But in terms of the actual techniques that I use, like I've said this to a few people, like when I do my own drills, I literally do what I teach the beginners. Like I don't do any different. Like I teach beginners class, and then I'll do the same drills, but I just do it a little bit better than the beginners are doing it at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've probably got the most boring, simple game.
I remember going back to rugby. Like I remember our old rugby instructor like used to say to people like comparing like amateur to professional. He was like, it's just basic rugby but done at speed. It's like a similar thing, yeah.
It really is, mate. It's like I think there's so many people like they miss out so important things because they want to do something that they've seen that looks really good.
Yeah.
It's like that person who's managed to pull that off, I can guarantee that they're so good at the basics before they've gone and done that.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's like there's a lot of people just doing the stuff that looks good rather than like I fight people and like some of the people they've 100% got better jiu-jitsu than me, but I can just like shut it down with basics and just put them in a position where they feel like shit.
Yeah.
And then that stuff doesn't work anymore a little bit. Like,
I get you.
And I'm just doing it with the most basic things, really. Like, I openly say, like, the positions I work from are side mount, back headlock, side smash, attacking turtle, body lock pass. That's literally all I'm going to try and do on someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems to do all right.
But it's everything. It's the whole package, like with the pressure and everything, because you've learned just from years and years and years of doing it where to apply that pressure and make people suffer from the bottom. And a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, and that's why we do a lot of sparring in our gym.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like drilling can only like get you so far a little bit. It's like I think people spend loads of time drilling, and it's like obviously that's really good. It's going to improve your technique.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing it against resistance, it's like it's a whole different ball game.
Does that include positional stuff as well? Then, like you'll start off in the bottom side or top mount or whatever like that.
So like this morning with the lads, we did body lock passing, and from the body lock pass, we ended up falling into half guard, close guard, and side smash. So then the 8 o'clock session was just an hour of situational stuff, where we did 15 minutes situational from a body lock pass against butterfly hooks. Second block was a body lock pass in the half guard, situational sparring. Third round was the close guard, and the fourth round was side smash. So it's like we'll practice positions, but then spar that position.
Yeah.
And then I do like doing sparring though as well. So like on a Monday night, we'll like push the intensity and do like 5-minute rounds, but everyone's got to go as hard as they can. On a Wednesday night, we'll literally just do 1 hour. Where if you're recreational, it doesn't really apply, but if you compete, then I don't really let them rest for 1 hour. Like you just roll with someone. That round could be 3 minutes or it could be 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll just shout change randomly, and they just grab someone next to them and go again. And I really like that one because we've got a lot of big, strong lads in our gym who can 100% get away with shit technique in a 5-minute round because they're so powerful and explosive.
Right on the strength and explosiveness.
Yeah, when it's 1 hour straight, they get 20 minutes in and the strength's gone. They find out where they're lacking. So we do that every Wednesday. We do that every Friday lunchtime.
I think it's really interesting how you do KT classes. You correct me if I'm wrong, but you'll have like some like obviously the mad sparring days. But then when you do a technical session, is that just you practicing the moves? You're not necessarily sparring in that class to give people like a rest a little bit.
Yeah, like we try and do like high and low days a little bit. I run it like high and low days. So if it's an high day, like a Monday is a high day, we go really hard. So like a Monday will be like situational sparring in the morning, and then really hard rounds.
Yeah.
But then Tuesday's really light. So then on a Tuesday, it's literally just some wrestling drills in the morning, and no gi drills, no sparring in the evening. But then Wednesday's really hard again, so it's 1 hour continuous. Thursday's like not much sparring, but quite intense drilling. So it's not an easy night, but in terms of impact on your body, it's not very high.
Yeah.
Friday's an hard day, so Friday's like midday rolling if people can get in. And then that's not gi, and then evening sparring gi. Saturday morning's really hard, and then you have Saturday night, Sunday off.
Yeah. How did you come up with that system then? Is that something you got like maybe from judo, or has it been a bit of trial and error?
It's from judo, mate. So I've kind of tried to run it how Camberley run it, where I lived, basically. We'd do Brazilian JiuJitsu on a Monday night, which would be pretty technical. And then we'd do judo sparring, which is really hard, on a Tuesday night. And then we'd have a really hard Wednesday morning. Wednesday night, we'd have it completely off. Thursday morning was super steady. Thursday night was hard. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday was super light.
Yeah.
So it's always been the way I've trained. Like when it's time to go, it's like 100%. For competitors, like recreational, they can do a round and sit out for 5 if they want. But for me personally, it's like if you say I want to compete, then I feel like you kind of got to train a certain way.
Yeah. I like the I think you've said it a few times in interviews, post matches and stuff, is that you're not necessarily bothered if you lose because you know you've put the work in. So I think like as long as you know you're putting that work in, then it doesn't matter if you're losing or what. But if you're not putting that work in, then you've only got yourself to kind of to blame, haven't you?
That's it, mate. And that's what I say to everyone at gym. I'm just like, on art, if they train hard and they prep for a match, a grappling match or a fight in MMA or whatever, if they lose, I know they'll be pissed off, but it's absolutely fine because like you can work with that. Like if someone actually takes preparation serious and they train really hard and that's asked of them, and then they lose, that's just part of the sport. And like when you know you've got someone and they're going to train hard and they're going to prep right, I feel like you can do a lot with that person.
Yeah.
Whereas I just can't even handle people anymore, mate. I've got to the point where if people are like, don't turn up for training and then they lose and they're like, what the fuck? I'm just like, mate, just don't. You're not even trained.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to say to people like that anymore, mate. It's like competing, train like you're competing, or just don't compete. Like no one's forcing you to compete.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. We've been going through basically our stand-up syllabus, if you like, is basically a combination of your instructionals and Cam's instructionals from ASW
Oh,
Manchester.
nice.
I feel like that's if you're gonna like use anybody as a template to use the stand-up, you and Cam are probably the best two examples you can give, really. And it's funny because I think I messaged you this the other day. Like I put an incentive out there. If anyone caught a fireman's in a live roll, then I give them a tenner. And it's funny just watching, because I'm guilty of it as well. And I've just discussed this with a mate before. I don't commit 100%. So if I'm trying to go for something, I'm a bit hesitant. You know what I mean? I'm not all in trying to go for something. But with a little bit of skin in the game and a bit of an incentive, people are more inclined to go for it, maybe fuck it up. But if they do it, they'll get a tenner. And yeah, someone got one the other day, like, it was cool. Yeah.
You'll have to be careful, mate. It'll end up costing you a fucking bomb.
I know. It's only one a month. One tenner a month, yeah. Only do it once a month.
That's all right, yeah. No, I think that's the key though with stand up as well. Is like you actually can't hesitate. So that's like a really good idea. Because with a stand up, I think you can't. You've got to try and encourage like commitments as much as you can. Because
sorry, Owen. I think I've froze. Just hang on a minute. I think me.
No worries, mate.
Oh, it's all right. I'm here.
Yeah, I think with the stand up, yeah, like we used to do loads of rounds with the judo where it'd be super short.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute round. But like the only goal is to get the first score.
Yeah.
You just had to like fully engage.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is like again why like when my stand up with grappling at the moment it's going all right, because I think it's just coming like obviously I've like built on my own stuff in Nogi, but it's all come from work that I've done years ago, I think, as in like training that forces you into engage is like it's the small things in that. Like I know if 9 times out of 10, if I'm grappling against someone and he actually does stand and I fully engage with that person. By engage, I mean like try and connect me hips.
Yeah.
The reactions you get off that are absolutely massive. It's
Right.
like a lot of people when they say stand up, I find it's quite natural for everyone to go collar ties, 50-50 collar ties, bent over.
Yeah.
And that's stand up because they're on the feet, where it's like, I promise you, if you get 2 simple takedowns and you practice them 2 simple takedowns off the back of reactions that you'll get when you engage, hit them all the time. Like half of my body lock stuff comes from when I literally just walk at someone. When I walk at them, I've got my elbows sort of like I'm anticipating a shot.
Yeah.
But I walk at them, go double underhooks, try and connect my hands. And I'll never be able to connect my hands because they put their hips back. But when they put their hips back, I can get snap downs. And when I snap, if they fight the hands and posture up, I can get double legs. Or sometimes, like when I was at Grapple Fest, not Pixley the one before, I just did the same then. I walked, I went for a body lock, and he actually fully turned away from me.
Right.
You just get mad reactions from putting a bit of pressure on, and then that's when I got or the suplex, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But
is that like consistent pressure then, isn't it? Making other people make mistakes. Yeah.
So really, so that's a great idea, like putting some money on it because people go fucking wild on it.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Another thing we've started to get the hang of a little bit more, and that is maintaining that, being a bit more relaxed. I know you emphasise being relaxed in that clinch and not fucking being mad tensed up and that, like.
Yeah, it's key, mate, because it's like if I'm locked in with someone, whether we're gi or no gi, I'd probably say gi's even more important. It's like every time you move, I feel it first through your wrist.
Yeah.
Like, say you took a collar tie on me and an outside bicep tie and they were both super heavy, and then I asked you to shoot a double leg. you would 100% have to relax before you change position.
Yeah.
You relax. Anyone who's experienced, if you've got a collar tie and an outside tie on me, you're super heavy and then you relax. I'm just going to step away because I know you're going to attack.
Yeah.
So it's like the more you can like emphasize being relaxed in your upper body. I'm like mixing up. Like we did a drill at ASW yesterday where it's like you want to attack like different things. I think like in grappling, loads of people just default collar ties straight away. Just like collar ties. Every exchange is collar ties. But then if you're against Michael Pixley, who is like unbelievable in the collar tie, you're gonna fucking get thrown. Like, he's so good at like club snap or his slide bys.
Yeah.
Like, so you don't go in a collar tie with that bloke. So it's like that's when like you can touch the head, you can go collar ties, you can touch the shoulder, you can go wrist control. So I'll do a lot of wrist control stuff where if you're really good in the collar tie, but every time we come out, I grab one of your wrists. You can't collar tie me.
I get it, yeah. Right.
You're going to have to rip your wrist away. When you rip your wrist away, then that'll pull me into a single leg and I can link my single leg to a body lock and
right, I get it, yeah.
For that, and then you're attacking everything. So yeah, just mixing it up. Yeah. But you can only do that if you're relaxed.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's something we're getting better at, and it's testament to the instructionals that you're putting out, mate, because everyone's loving going through them and that, like, and practicing the techniques and that, and we're looking forward to having you down in June as well. So is that some of the stuff you'll be covering at the seminar?
Yeah, mate, 100%. It's yeah, I'll be showing some basic, like I'll definitely do the wrist lock stuff because I've not actually put that on any instructionals. Like, if I came down and just did the body lock stuff, then I'll do some of the body lock stuff, but I think some of you lads would have seen some of it already. So what I'd like to do is like add little things like the wrist control that ties into the stuff they might have seen from body lock as well.
That'll be awesome, definitely, yeah. So I won't take up too much more of your time, mate, but you've got Carlson Gracie Jr. coming down tonight, haven't you? Running a seminar at your place.
Yeah, mate. 7 till 9 tonight. So him and Dickie are coming tonight.
Yeah. Where's he based then? Is he just based down in London or something? Or has he come from abroad? Or?
No, he's at headquarters in Chicago.
Oh, right.
So I think what he does every now and then, he just comes to London because all the other Carlson Gracie gyms are down south.
Right.
So he goes down south like for a full week and he just pops into them all. I think we've messed it up a bit for him now because he has to get a train to all every month. I don't imagine he's buzzing about that, like, but
yeah. That should be a good night. Then what was he just going to run through some techniques and that? And
yeah, mate, it's gi as well. So
right.
Yeah, it'd be good, mate. So I do enjoy doing a bit of gi. I've not been doing as much recently because there's no gi at the moment. But
are you going to look at be putting some gi instructionals out at any point?
I think Grapple Club were on about it, mate. Yeah, I'd love to do it because I've genuinely got 10 times more in gi than I have no gi. Like in terms of, like I'm definitely not a jiu-jitsu wizard in the gi, but in terms of like judo style gripping, footwork, against the posture that people take in jiu-jitsu. So like more or less judo for BJJ.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got loads that I can give with the grips and the footwork and fighting against that posture where people are bent over and
definitely
tying it into guard pass and stuff. I think I've got a lot of decent stuff for that.
Yeah.
You won't see me doing much off my back though.
Well, that'd be awesome though to get some stand up in the gi going on. Yeah, it'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, mate. I appreciate you talking to us for nearly an hour now. Anyway, I know we said 45 minutes, but
that's fine, mate.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday, the 12th of June. I think it is.
I think that's when it is, mate. Yeah, spot on.
Brilliant. Cheers, Owen. Thanks for your time, mate.
Mate. Cheers, pal.
See ya. Ta-ra.